common law and also local customs and practice. Later, we will look into that. Okay, the legal system of Malaysia is actually divided into two. Okay, as you can see here, okay, it's drawn between criminal and civil law. All right, criminal and civil law. Okay, the civil law governs the majority of the civil law actually governs the majority of the legal that disputes in the country. Okay, which while the Sharia law, later I'll explain about the Sharia law. Sharia law applies to a certain area of law, like the criminal law and family law for Muslims. So that's why it's divided or drawn between these two, criminal and civil law. Okay, so uh, Malaysian legal system is based on the written constitution. Okay, based on the written constitution that actually outlines the powers of the federal and state governments. Okay, so this provides for the protection of fundamental rights and freedom. Okay, later I'll explain again what is the judiciary and all that. So in Malaysia, the law is primarily enforced by the Royal Malaysian Police, the Attorney General's chambers. Okay, that is the one. So overall, the Malaysian law is complex, quite complex and multifaceted. Okay, reflecting the country's which diverse the cultural, the historical, the religious influence, and all that. So whether you are the resident or a visitor to Malaysia, like what I have now, I have so-called visitor lah. You're a student and international student, so-called visitor to Malaysia, and also the resident of Malaysia for the rest of you, which is local Malaysian. So it is important to understand the legal system, okay, and it's important to understand the legal system and your rights under the law to navigate that country's legal landscape effectively. That's the thing. Okay, so if we're talking about law, there will be this plaintiff and defendant. So anyone here can explain what is actually the plaintiff? Who is plaintiff? Who is defendant? Anyone? Douglas?
Um,
Plaintiff and defendant. If you watch lots of law drama, then if you love law dramas, movie, then definitely you know who is the plaintiff, who is the defendant. Sorry, Douglas. Yes,
I believe a plaintiff is the person who brings the suit to court. Um,
correct. Right. So, okay, if I ask you for 2 marks, that will be only 1 mark. So the plaintiff is the party who actually brings the lawsuit, correct, or initiates the legal proceedings, right, against to another party, right? While dependent, how about dependent?
the defendant would be the person whom the lawsuit is brought against.
Who is being sued?
Yeah.
Yes, who is being sued or accused of the wrongdoings? Okay. That is plaintiff. That is the difference between plaintiff and defendant. Thank you very much. It explains well. Okay, so the plaintiff is the plaintiff is the party who is seeking a legal remedy. Okay, such as damage or injunction or from the court. So the plaintiff is usually um, the person or the entity, okay, I must say the person or the entity that has been harmed, ah, orang yang terkena tu, okay, who has been harmed, who has been suffered or of a loss as a result of that defender's action. So they are the one who's seeking to hold the defendant legally responsible for those actions. Okay, that is plaintiff. So the defendant just now, on the other hand, is the party who actually being accused, like what Douglas said, is being sued, okay, disaman tu, of what he has been done, of all the wrongdoings or legal liability, Okay, so the defendant may be an individual, it can be company, okay, or an entity or organization, so they are required to defend themselves. So defend themselves against the allegations made by the plaintiff in the court. That's the thing. Okay, so I don't want to explain a lot about this plaintiff and defendant. Okay, let's move on to this one, the functions of law. Okay, the functions of law. Mm, okay, one, two, three, four, five. Okay, five functions of law. Oops. Okay, it is the function of law is actually to provide or and also to achieve a harmonized society. Okay, is to provide a framework for maintaining social order and to resolve the disputes in a fair manner. Okay, that is the first functions. There are several functions actually in a society, in a modern society. Besides that, it is also to attain the justice in the society. Okay, regulating behavior or regulating relationship among the citizens and between citizens and the state. What does that mean? Regulating behavior is like the law sets out the rules and regulations that the individual and the organizations must follow to maintain a peaceful society. So that defines behavior. Okay, means that you in a country actually we have to follow law. Okay, don't jump into the right lanes just like that, because I mean don't jump into the left lane, mostly for the buses, for the taxis and so forth like that. So that's why we have all this law, that's considered a law, you have to follow the law. Okay, other than that, control social behavior, okay, promoting justice, dispute, and also it is to dispute resolution for conflicting any parties. Okay, all right. So in summary, the functions of law, okay, the functions of law is to create a just and orderly society that protects the individual rights, promotes justice, and also it facilitates the social change. Okay, so the law serves a foundation for the civil society. If you don't have law, you simply can do anything, isn't it? Okay, so it enable the individuals and the organization to coexist peacefully and resolve dispute in a fair manner. That is the functions of law. Okay, all right. Now, classification of law. There are three classifications here. It can be classified into categories like public law, private law, and also international law. Okay, so let me explain one by one here. Okay, the public law. Okay, the public law is basically the law which governs the relationship between the individuals and the state. Okay, the public law can be divided into two just now, like this one. Okay, the public law can be divided into constitutional law, and the second one divided into the criminal law. Okay, all right. So constitutional law refers to the when you look at the slides, of course, it's a PowerPoint slides, is in a point form, and most of it I will explain more for each points. All right. So the constitutional law refers to the fundamental principles and the rules that govern the structure and operation of the country's government. One thing, so it outlines the powers and also the responsibility for a different branch of governments. So this established the fundamental rights and also freedom for the citizens. Okay, that is constitutional law. The criminal law, okay, criminal law actually deals with the offenses, okay, that are considered to be harmful, okay, that are considered to be harmful to society as a whole. So this one involve like the persecution of individuals accused of committing crimes, um, murder, theft, assault, drug trafficking. So this is the purpose of the criminal law. That is the criminal law. So the purpose of having this criminal law is to punish the offenders, okay, and deter others, okay, from committing the similar offenses. Okay, that is criminal law. So these two is under the public law just now. All right. Next one, international law. Okay, the second classification of the law is international law. When you see the word international here, international law deals with the legal relationship between different countries and international organizations. So this one includes the treaties, conventions, agreements between countries. So this as well as rules the governing uh, the conduct of the conduct of international organizations. Okay, so these are the definition of what is the international law about. Okay, all right. Next one, private law. Okay, right. The second classification. Sorry, the third classification just now is this one international law. The third one is private law. Okay, so private law, okay, private law is a law between one individual to another. Okay, so it concerns with the matters that affects the rights and duties for individual among themselves. For example, about contracts, about tort, about trust. So this is under private law. Okay, so sources of law differentiate. Can you okay? If I said differentiate the sources of law, okay, there are the word sources have several meanings, okay. So if you want to differentiate the sources of law, the sources of law refer to the origins or authority from which the laws are derived or established. Okay, so there are several sources of law that can be divided into the main the main categories like historical sources and also legal sources. Okay, so historical sources is the factors that influence the development of the law, although they are not recognized as law. Okay, for example, the under religious belief, if there's anything about religious belief, and also local customs, or anything about juries opinions, this one is under the historical sources, or so-called, or another term we call it as primary source of law. Okay, the primary source of law. Okay, and then the second sources is the legal sources. Okay, the legal rules that make up the law that can be classified into the written law and also unwritten law. So what is the written law and what is the unwritten law here? Okay, ah, all right. Written law. Okay, the differentiate to differentiate between the written law and unwritten law here. Okay, first of all, um, legal system in most of the countries have both written laws and unwritten laws. So there are difference between these two. Okay, written law, besides the word written law, it is also known as codified law. Codified law. Okay, so this one refers to the laws that actually has been set out in a written form. So this written law is typically an act by the legislature, okay, and is published in official legal codes or statutes. So means it's formal one. It's formal one and it's official. Okay, some characteristic of this written law, it should be precise, it should be specific, so it is clear and concise, and it provide the word precise means I must say it set the rules and regulations precisely that everyone must follow. Okay, and written law must be easy to access. Easy to access is like it has been published, everyone knows about this official legal codes, or okay, so to make it easy for anyone if they want to consult with it. Okay, and also this written law, easy to enforce. Okay, since it's clear and specific, it is relatively easy to enforce through the legal system. Okay, and also it should be stable, this written law. Okay, and then unwritten law, also known as common law, also known as the common law or case law or customary law. This one refer of the law that has not set out in any written form, is not official. Just now that was official, this one is not official, but they are based off tradition, custom and judicial decisions. Okay, so these are so-called the characteristic of this unwritten law can be flexible. Okay, it is flexible because it's not fixed. It's not fixed, and it can be evolved over time to reflect changes in society of the culture. Okay, so it is not always clear. Okay, it is not always clear. It can also, and it can be influenced by bias. So it's the unwritten law is subject to the bias and interpretation of the judge. That is unwritten law. So, in summary, I must say that this written law set out the written form, and it's precise and easy to access, easy to enforce, stable. However, to the unwritten law is based on the tradition, based on the customs, uh, and it is flexible. What else just now? It is not that clear, not always clear, and also can be influenced by the bias. Mm, right? Can anyone at least give example if you understand what I'm saying just now? What is the example of written law and unwritten law? Okay, all right. Let me get you to be clear with it. There, I can give you the context of I have two now, Malaysian and US. But Douglas, you from US, isn't it?
Yes, that's correct, ma'am.
United States Constitution. All right. So the example that I can give written law in the US Constitution, which sets out the fundamental principles and rules governing the operation of the US government, the US Code. The US Code, this the word the US Code is actually the collection of the federal statutes which enacts by the Congress. So, an example of this written law, if in a Malaysia context, okay, if it's a Malaysia context, the example of this written law is in the Malaysia, what we call that, Malaysia Federal Constitution of Malaysia. This one which sets out the fundamental principles and the rules governing the operation of the Malaysian government, which is about similar to other country. In any countries, they must have this. They should have all this written law. Depends on the government. Okay, so the constitution, like just now in US, they have this United States Constitution. Even in Malaysia, we do have this constitution as well, which provides the separation powers between the legislative, the executive, and the judicial. So later I'll give you the picture of what I'm saying just now, the legislative, the executive, this one lah. Okay, this one, blah 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 blah. Wait, see? So the what is now the written law, the written law which is official just now kan, I kata yang rasmi punya tu. Okay, this one has set up, I mean they provides the separation of powers. What is separation of powers? So the separation of powers between this legislative, executive, and judicial. Okay, so judicial branches of government. So this one established the rights and freedom of the Malaysian citizens. I'm talking in Malaysian context, in Malaysian context. Okay, okay, back to the just now this one. Right, example of the unwritten law. Okay, the unwritten law. If it's in Malaysia context, we call it as the penal code, penal code. Something to do with this one, penal code, which is the collection of criminal laws. Sorry. I'm talking about not the penal code. The criminal laws is under written law. Criminal, if criminal laws is under written laws. The example of unwritten law just now is like the Islamic law. If it's in Malaysia context, the Islamic law, also known as Sharia, okay, Sharia law. So the Islamic law is based on the principle of the Quran and the Hadith. Okay, so this interpreted and applied by the Islamic scholars and judges. So while this Islamic law is not codified in Malaysia, so it is recognized as a source of law in certain areas such as family law, case law, inheritance law. So all this is being enforced by the Islamic courts. That is the example of unwritten law that I can give to you. Okay, guys, all okay? Is it everyone's okay or not? Am I too fast? No, yeah,
Madam,
yeah.
is it custom or adat is in under written law? Unwritten law.
Is custom.
Ataupun adat Rasam
Sorry. Is custom
is
is based
under
on criminal.
unwritten law.
Betul, correct. Custom, tradition, custom. Semua tu is unwritten law. Ania. Okay, you're talking about customary law. Betul tak, Fatin?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. So customary law, traffic offences, they are the example of the unwritten law. Okay, guys. All right. Thirsty, yeah. If you talk too much, then I become thirsty. Right. Next. Hmm. Okay. What does the state laws do? Well, is the answer is here already. Okay, but can you explain me in at least in a wording? Anyone? What do you know about this state laws?
Uh,
I need to send out. Oh, like sure, I have to send out. Anyone? Wan Najihah, maybe Umum, state law. If state law to the synonym meaning of state law, or you can translate it. What can you explain to me? Anyone? Remember, I told you I want it to be a two-way communication.
Can I try?
Aha, sure Sana.
State laws ni macam dia different for each state.
Tapi if I give you 1 mark, I always make an assumption, if let's say you answer it in midterm test or quizzes, you can get like half mark. If Madam Azra is very kind, she give you 1 mark. Yes, okay. It differs to different states will have this different laws in in each state. That's correct. Okay, the state laws are actually the laws that are an act by the individual state, individual negeri-negeri tu. setiap negeri. Yeah, like in US, they have states, right? There are so many states that, okay, so the state laws are the laws that are actually enacted by individual states or the provinces within the country. So as opposed to the federal laws, like in Malaysia, you have berapa banyak states? How many states are there? So we have the state law lah, okay. So the functions of this state laws can vary. Difference, difference, and they have differences depending on the country and its legal system. Okay, but generally the state laws perform the following function, like criminal law, family, governance, civil, hadana, regulatory, the right of maintenance, taxation, like land law, anything can do with that. That what state laws do. Okay, so state laws plays an important role as well in the legal system because it provides for the governance, for the regulations, and also the administration of each state within the country. Mm. So does the state law do religious matter? Yes. Okay. In countries with a federal system of government, like such as United States, Malaysia, the state of provincial laws may address matters related to religion in certain contexts. Okay. However, the extent to which state or provincial laws can regulate the religious matters may depend on the specific legal framework in each country. So dia akan ada perbezaan. There will be a difference. Okay, for example, in the US, okay, the First Amendment of the Constitution prohibits the federal government and the state governments from establishing an official religion or interfering with the free exercise of religion, right? So this means that the state laws cannot generally regulate the religious beliefs or practice unless they have a secular purpose and do not violate the constitutional protections of religious freedom. Am I correct? That is in the US, right, Douglas? Because you have the free exercise of religion, something like that. Similarly, in Malaysia, the matters related to the religion are primarily governed by the federal law and the Islamic law, which is enforced by the countries, by the state Sharia courts. So while some states in Malaysia have the enact on their own Sharia law, which means these laws are generally limited to matters of family law, inheritance ni apa? What we call that in is related to family law lah. Waris waris, inheritance
Turun
law.
temurun ke?
Apa dia?
Turun temurun.
Inheritance. Dia macam untuk waris-waris semua ni kan, kalau ada kematian and all that, right? So kita go to this Sharia law juga, the inheritance. So and other personal matters within the Muslim community. So therefore, while state or provincial laws, sometimes the state laws or provincial laws may touch on the religious matters in certain contexts. So the regulation of religion generally considered to be the domain of the federal or the national law. Okay, all right. Some of you wants to ask what is hadana. What is actually hadana? The word hadana here, hadana when there's the word hadana here is an Islamic law lah. Okay, is an Islamic law. Okay, is an Islamic law that refers to the responsibility of preserving and safeguarding of the property and assets of others. Apa tu? If it's in Malay, you translate it in property and assets of others.
Wakaf?
Hadana, the responsibility of preserving and safeguarding the property and assets of others. Harta. Come on, I have apa
Wakaf?
benda? Hah?
Is it
Apa?
wakaf?
Harta benda, hak milik tanah lah whatsoever. That is hadanah. Asset lah. Asset. That is hadanah. So it is a duty that imposed on those who are entrusted with the property of others, okay, such as trustees, agent, custodians. Okay, so in Islamic finance, the concept of hadanah here is particularly relevant in the context of uh, tra- financial transaction that involve the management and the investment of funds on behalf of the client. So that is about hadanah if it's in Islamic finance.
Yes.
Okay. Uh, I can explain more on this one because this one hadana is like I said under financial Islamic financial. It is a practice. It's a management of Islamic investment funds, something like that. Okay, mutual or so-called such as mutual fund or exchange traded funds. That's the thing. You don't need to explain all that. I believe it is not going to be in your test and whatsoever. Okay. Right. Next one. Okay. This one FC stands for Federal Constitution. Okay. Federal Constitution. Federal Constitution actually enshrines the basic or fundamental rights of the individuals. Yang di-Pertuan Agong, okay, our King, YDPA, Yang di-Pertuan Agong, Yang di-Pertuan Agong owes his position to the Federal Constitution, okay, and act accordingly. He can act according to it. Means he can do amendment. Okay, so the federal constitution can be amended if there is 2/3 of majority out of the total number of the members. The members is in the legislative. Okay, so the federal constitution consists of articles. Articles, what is articles? Articles proposing religion on the federation, the welfare of the aborigines and other connected subjects. Okay, okay, let's look further down here. The federal constitution, it's good. Most of it, every state has its own constitution. Okay, but everything will go back to the FC, to the federal constitution. Okay, so all the state have their own constitution controlling the government, okay, of the state, which is known as the state constitution. Just now FC, right? Just now FC, then you go down to yo. Okay, just now FC. Okay, FC. If I have the whiteboard, then I will use the whiteboard. Okay, then it goes to state constitution. The federal is on top, and the state constitution. So each state will have this. Okay, every state will have their own constitution. So the provisions comprise of this ruler, executive council, and also the legislature. Okay, so there will be this legislative assembly, financial provision, state employees, and all that. So delegated legislation is legislation that is made by an individual or a body under powers given on them by Act of Parliament. So this one is important because the legislation made by Parliament and the state is not enough to give the laws needed to govern everyday matters. Okay, so I'll explain about this one. Okay, in the law practice. Okay, division of this law practice. Okay, is by litigation, conveyancing, corporate, family matters, and also Sharia. Okay, that is division of law. Okay, all right. How about we take a break for a while? Okay, before I explain more detail on this legislative just now, executive and judicial. Okay, in the context of Malaysian government system. Okay, we'll have a break for a while. It's what is the time now? We'll come back around 10. 10 a.m. Okay,
Okay.
sure. All of you are in campus, yeah? Hmm?
No.
Oh, not really. Or not everyone, not all of you in campus.
Yeah. Because I
So,
have someone already going back for holiday.
for the Raya celebration or the weekend holiday during weekend?
Raya celebration.
Oh my God,
Because
that is so fast. I mean, like after this, I mean, 11, around 11, you have class,
for me, I don't have class today because
but
it's first.
other batch do have class. Yeah.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, okay, okay. Understood, understood. So some of you are maybe in the campus, some of you are at home, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm, sure, sure, sure. Okay, so just now, I'm at the slides, which is like division of law. Okay, yeah, this division of law practice. Okay, all right, division of law practice just now. Litigation, conveyancing, corporate and family matters Sharia. Okay, this division of law, the law practice can generally be divided into different categories like this. Okay, so it is actually based on the type of law that they are specialized in. Okay, so some of the common divisions in law practice include this, but there are much um, I mean more than this one. Okay, like you can see here the corporate law, litigation, conveyancing, family matters, Sharia. Just now I did explain about this family matters and Sharia. The corporate law, the corporate law practice um, uh, practice the law that involve in advising the businesses, okay, and also other legal, what we call that, legal matters such as contracts, um, mergers, what else? Acquisitions, regulatory compliance. These are all in corporate law practice. And then other than that, like family matters. Kalau family matters, this one, the law practice helps the client in terms of the issue related to the family matters like divorce, child custody, um, adoption, apa lagi domestic violence. This one are all in family matters. Okay, and then conveyancing, yeah, conveyancing is the law that is what we call that, that deals with the legal process, okay, involving like transferring the ownership of the property from one person to another. That is conveyancing. So this one involve a series of legal procedures, okay, a series of legal procedures and documents that should be completed before the property has been sold or purchased. Uh, okay, so you understand a bit of the law practice. You know, this image here, as you can see, I really love to watch these drama episodes. Uh, anyone knows this law drama here? One because of this Samson guy. Okay, another one because of the way they are managed, the way they do their law practice. Uh, okay, talking about leaders, how leaders talks and all. So this one, this drama is the US drama episodes called The Suits. Uh, okay, you guys know about it. It's 2019 drama, I think. 2019, in year 2019. Okay, let's talk about this Malaysian government system. Okay, so the Malaysian government system is separate by these three powers. They have this legislative, okay, executive, and also judicial. Okay, when you see the word legislative here, okay, the legislative, um, so this one is called like I mean, in Malaysia the separation of powers is actually enshrined by this federal constitution. So this federal constitution, which established three different branches here of the government, which is this three. So this each branch of this government is assigned to a specific functions and powers. Okay, so it is designed to act as a check and balance on the others. All right. Okay, talking about first one. Hold on. Okay, so there are three main branches. So each branches are given responsibilities and afforded with powers, like I said just now. Okay, so where am I just now? Oh, this is more to the image here. Hmm? All about this image here. So first, we'll talk about this legislative. Okay, for example, in Malaysian executive branch. Okay, these are all. Uh, uh, oh, sorry. I'm talking about legislative. I want to talk about executive just now. Talking about legislative. Legislative branch is the branch that is responsible for making laws and overseeing the actions in the government. So in Malaysia, the legislative branch is made up of these two houses, the Parliament and the Dewan Rakyat. Okay, the Parliament, the Dewan Rakyat. What is another one? Can you name another one? Dewan Ne Dewan Rakyat and Dewan Negara. Okay, so this is the two houses. I mean, sorry, the two houses which is Parliament and the two houses which is the Dewan Rakyat, sorry, and Dewan Negara. That and inside this Parliament there will be these members of Parliament who are actually elected by the people that they are interested in. That's why kita ada this apa undi, right? Votes, right? The voting and all this, because you choose your people, the people who's representing your country and all this. So they are the one who will be responsible for the debating and the passing laws that reflects the will of the people. That is Parliament, the legislative branch. Okay, number one. That's number one. Number two, okay, so example here is the Parliament just now. Parliament in our 50 cent coin. Why 50 cent? Don't ask me why. At the back of the so second one, the second branches is the executive branch. Okay, So the executive branch here, okay, dalam bahasa Melayu, okay, executive is the law enforcers. So it responsible for the day-to-day administration. Frina. It's responsible for the day-to-day administration, and it implements the law that have been enacted by the legislators. Okay, so who actually in this executive branch? Anyone? Atika? Contoh-contoh badan eksekutif dalam Malaysia, in Malaysia. Talking about Malaysia executive branch. Siapa? Tadi parlimen kan? Just now parlimen. In under what? Under legislative branch. How about this executive branch? There's no right or wrong answers. You can, not to say guess, you can share whatever you feel. Okay, Aisyah, Aiman, maybe who is in the executive branch?
PDRM.
PD. You dah tengok the slides, right? Okay.
Okay.
Okay, the army, the mayor, and all this. Besides this, other than them, is the prime minister. Okay, the prime minister, the cabinet also have the power to make. Okay, you remember if any of your lecture give lecture, of course give lecture. Not everything in the slides. Definitely, if everything in slides, definitely we won't finish like 3 hours or 4 hours. Going to be in another topic. So who are the rest of this executive branch besides the army and all this, mayor and etc.? Who is the etc.? So the etc. will be like the prime minister, the cabinets, okay, siapa lagi? The officers, the pegawai badan berkanun, the officers. So this executive is the one that is responsible for managing the economy, the infrastructure, maintaining the public order and security, which is them, yang these three, the police, the army, the Badan Pencegah Rasuah and all this. Okay, so this executive branch is accountable to the legislative branch, like I said just now. Is accountable to the legislators. Okay, sorry. So the executive branch must work within the limits of the law and the constitution. Okay, they must answer the parliament. They must talk to the parliament and the judiciary later on. What is judiciary? Judiciary just now. Okay, so this is executive. Now judiciary. Judiciary branch is responsible for interpreting and enforcing the law. Okay, for resolving the disputes between the individuals and the organization and also the government. Okay, who is inside this judicial? Everything in this slide. I should make it the transition, the animation. So everything's here already. So examples here is this one lah. Okay, the judges. Okay, the judges, DA, DPP, and all this are all judiciary. Okay, the prosecution services, they are the judiciary branch, which responsible for interpreting and enforcing the law. Okay, what do they do? What do they responsible with? Uh, if you look about this Jabatan Peguam the law, the law department, the Malaysian law department here, what is actually their responsibility? Okay, they are responsible for adjudicating the criminal and civil cases, interpreting the constitution and the laws, So they are the one that ensure the decision are fair, okay, the decision are fair and also impartial, and they uphold the justice and the rule of the law, means the judges and the pegawai, and the lawyer. So overall, I can say about the separation of powers. All I can say about these three separations of powers in Malaysia here, this is to design to ensure that each branch of the government operates independently. They work together and they work together to serve the interests and for the people. Okay, so by dividing this power, yeah, by dividing all this power among um, these different branches of government, okay, the principle of this separation of powers helps to prevent the abuse of power, helps to prevent the abuse of power, and also it's to promote the transparency in the government. Okay, not everything they do, so they separate it. Okay. Right. So that's why it's important to have the SOP. So what is the importance of standard operating procedures? It's important for the government system. There are several reasons why. Why? Because you want to have this consistency. Okay, consistency, provide check and balance tool. Okay, it helps to ensure that the government process and the procedure are consistent, are uniformity across the different departments and agencies. Okay, and also it helps to promote the efficiency, the accuracy, the quality control in the government operation must be follow. Okay, SOP. What happen if you don't follow? Is like our ex prime minister lah. You know who, right? Najib kan. So this one, if you don't follow SOP, there's no check and balance to you misuse of powers, you go to jail. Okay, so having this SOP is to prevent misuse of powers. Like I'm teaching culinary students, right? Even culinary students, they have to follow the recipe. Don't misuse it. Okay, don't misuse. You won't have the quality control. Suddenly, add some more, add some more the cheese, add some more this one, all that. So you don't have the check and balance. That's why in anything you should have this SOP. Okay, because of clarity as well. It helps to clarify the roles. If it's a government system, it helps to clarify the roles and responsibility of the different government departments and agency, so that they can carry out their functions well. Okay, why? Just to reduce the confusion again or misunderstanding. And also this is also part of the compliance. Compliance. SOP actually helps to ensure the government operations are carried out in the compliance with applicable laws, regulations, policy. So this one helps to prevent errors. Okay. All right. So overall, I can say is that SOP is an essential tool just to ensure the government operations are efficient, effective, and then what else? Complies to the applicable law and regulations. Also, it helps to promote the consistency, the what clarity, and all this. Okay. Okay. Next. Wow, the explanation of why that's why we have the separation of powers just now. Everyone can follow. Okay, it is a bad idea actually if it's all under one roof. It is much better if you follow SOP and everyone these three different branches follow it. Okay. So you can see the through the image here. Okay, the judiciary is the person. This one is just to recap back the one that I explained in the previous slides. Okay, to recap back, what is the judiciary just now? Who is the judiciary? The who? the judges, the DAs. Okay, they are the judiciary. They have the power to make the judgments on law. Okay, the executive here just now. Okay, who's the executive? They have the power to put the law into the actions. They are the executives. Mhm. Parliament is our king, the YDPA. There one who there are two houses there. Um, Dewan Rakyat, Dewan Rakyat, Dewan Negara. Dewan Negeri pula. Dewan Rakyat, Dewan Negara, that is under Parliament. Okay. Right now we move to the next one. Mixed legal system. What is mixed legal system? Mixed legal system is a legal system that actually combines both common law, civil law, Sharia law. So these systems are typically found in the countries that have the history of both British and European influence. Okay, Malaysia. You are in the influence of this British and European. So where these legal traditions and practice have been shaped by the interaction of these two systems. So in this mixed legal system, the law is derived from a variety of sources, including the written law just now, including the written law, um, like the legal principles, judicial decisions, and all this. Okay, so these sources may be influenced by both common law or civil law, mm, and it may reflect of a mix of legislative or customary practice and all this. For example, in Malaysia, the legal system is considered to be like a mixed legal system. If it's in Malaysia, it's considered like we have to say like it's a mixed legal system, which with the elements of both common law and also the Islamic law. See, because the country is inherited its legal system from the British colonial rule, so which brought this to a common law tradition. Okay, so however, Malaysia have also a significant Muslim population. So in Islamic law that have been incorporated into this legal system in some areas. So in mixed legal system, uh, what can I say is the legal interpretation and also the decision making may be influenced by several factors, including the precedent, um, legal principle, and also social cultural norms. Okay, this one can make the legal system more flexible and adaptable to changing circumstances. Okay, all right. Okay, so when we look at this one, types of courts here. Okay, types of courts in Malaysia. Okay, dalam Malaysia ni you have like ada beberapa jenis pengadilan. There are certain courts has been what we call that. There are types of courts has been established to handle the legal cases of various types and levels. Okay, so dalam Malaysia ada banyak jenis pengadilan, ada atau mahkamah yang dibentuk. Okay, untuk kita menangani all this hukum-hukum something like that. Okay, in Malaysia. So here are some of the types of courts in Malaysia. Okay, I'll explain in the image, next image here, as you can see it. Okay, we have this federal court. Okay, common court system. The common court system here. What's my cursor? Common court system. You can see this the hierarchy of the court. Okay, the hierarchy of court. We have the federal court, the top one. Okay, the federal court. Federal court is dalam bahasa Melayu Mahkamah Agung. Okay, Mahkamah Agung. Mahkamah Agung is the pengadilan yang paling tertinggi di Malaysia. Is the highest court in Malaysia, and they have the authority to hear the constitutional, criminal, civil cases that has been appealed from the appeal courts. Uh, okay, wait, hold on. Mana tadi? Um, uh, Mahkamah Agung, Federal Court. Okay, that is Federal Court. Then after Federal Court, I can say here we have the Court of Appeal. Here, okay, second one. Okay, Court of Appeal. Okay, when you look into under the Federal Court, it is aligned together with the Special Court here. Okay, aligned together with the Special Court. The Special Courts, like I told you, it also hear the constitutional, like this criminal, juvenile, martial court, marital court, civil, criminal, constitutional, royal court. This is aligned together with the Federal Court. Okay, and then goes down to the Court of Appeal, Mahkamah Rayuan. Okay, Mahkamah Rayuan. Court of Appeal is under is below the Federal Court, and they has this authority to review and adjudicate the cases like has been brought up from the High Court or Specialized Court. Okay, so the Court of Appeal consists of several panels of judges, and also they decides on the cases by majority vote. Itu Court of Appeal. Court of Appeal ni they check, dia akan periksa and akan mengadili um, the cases and all this from the High Court, dari mahkamah tertinggi ataupun mahkamah special ni, special court ni. So the Mahkamah Rayuan terdiri by the panel hakim and also others that actually decide memutuskan decision dari majority, dengan suara majority. Okay, so the third one is the superior court here. Okay, I really explaining this one detail. Madam Asra told me to explain this one very detailed. I believe that who knows who's going to be in your midterm test. Okay, so
Yes, of course.
really, hey, Madam Asra is here.
Yeah, I just come back from the clinic. Get another.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, please proceed, Nina. Very good information anyway. Thank you.
Um, okay. So apa tadi? High Court ya. The third one, High Court, Mahkamah Tertinggi. Mahkamah Tertinggi, this one it consists of the several courts located throughout the Malaysia. Okay, and they have this authority to adjudicate the first case, the first instant case in various types of cases like criminal, civil, or family cases. Itu Mahkamah Tertinggi, High Court. High Court of Malaya ataupun Mahkamah Tertinggi, just write High Court pun doesn't matter. So dia terdiri daripada apa tadi? Daripada beberapa pengadilan yang terletak di seluruh Malaysia. Okay, yang terletak di seluruh Malaysia, which is dia mengadili all this kind first cases, like I told you just now, first instant cases, case yang first level dan pelbagai cases lah, yang macam family cases, civil cases, criminal, jenayah, semua tu. Okay, that is under Mahkamah Tertinggi, High Court. Fourth one, wow. Fourth one, the subordinate courts. The subordinate courts. The subordinate courts divided into two, which is magistrate and session courts here. Okay, first one, itu 4A, 4B. Gitu. Alright. 4A, Mahkamah Session Courts. Mahkamah Session. This is the first, what we call that, first instance court that adjudicates the criminal and civil cases with a claim of value. Dia ada claim of value up to from what I've known, it's like RM 100,000 ke, macam tu lah. Mahkamah session ni, session courts. Okay, nilai claim dia up to 100 ringgit Malaysia. 100, not 100, 100, 100,000 ringgit Malaysia. Bukan 100 ringgit ya, 100,000 ringgit Malaysia. So this session courts actually uh, actually the one who have this the one that involve criminal cases and civil cases. So they goes to sessions court, mahkamah session. Okay, and other than that, other than session courts, under subordinate court is mahkamah magistrate. Mahkamah magistrate or magistrate court. So the magistrate court is the first instant court that adjudicate small cases. Yang tadi cases-cases yang berat lah, session court. Small cases under mahkamah magistrate. Okay, khususnya like they have claim up to 100, up to 100,000 ringgit and less serious, yang kurang serious. Okay, so mahkamah magistrate juga terdapat dalam setiap daerah dalam Malaysia. And of course dia akan dipimpin or di-lead with the magistrate. So the magistrate court will actually located in every district in Malaysia, and it is presided over by the magistrate. Okay, so I hope I explained well for all this four courts lah, types of courts, the type of courts in Malaysia. So in addition here, we talk about the specialized court just now, right? Yeah, this one. Just now, the specialized court, um, such as what just now, Sharia for the Islamic law cases, or the industrial court for corporate law cases like businesses kan. So semua courts dalam Malaysia is operate under the authority of siapa? This one, kepala dia, Mahkamah Agong Federal Court. So all court in Malaysia is operate under the authority of the Federal Court and are regulated by the courts of judiciary. Juri and Judicature Act macam tu. Okay. And here, there's one here, explain here about orang asli. Anyone wants to ask about orang asli court? Is in under special court. What does orang asli court do and why? Penat lah cakap. Can anyone explain? Penat lah dahaga. Anyone want to share what is orang asli court before we end our lecture? I have another 20 minutes, so I can spend another 20 minutes explaining, at least explain what is orang asli court. Anyone? Before that, yeah, it's written here. Orang asli, for Douglas, orang asli is the indigenous people. Indigenous people, right? Betul tak Asra? Kan? Indigenous people. That is orang asli court.
Yes.
The special courts. Okay.
Actually, there are lots of special courts kan Nina. I mean, what I have listed here is just few. You know, yeah, usually lah macam Marshall Court, Geneva Royals, and Rasli Court.
Okay, so all these special courts are aligned together with the federal court. So this orang asli court or indigenous court is a special court established under the indigenous community under the act of Akta 1974, something like that. Okay, if I write it down here, yes, under the Community Act 1974. Okay, so this court actually established to provide the justice for the indigenous people in the matters related to their custom, to their tradition, their land rights, okay, and other legal disputes that actually arise in their community, special for them. Okay, so orang asli court actually responsible for handling the legal cases, dispute related to orang asli, customary law and all this. Okay, so if you ask me, does the practitioners, does the lawyer semua tu is orang asli, Miss? Is it? Well, there are yes, there are no. Because sometimes orang asli talks in their own language, right? So there are lawyers or practitioners which is orang asli who can speak their language and also speaks Malays, the normal Malay language. Okay, all right. So I believe that's it. Hmm? Okay, that's the end. So power corrupts. I'll end with this what we call that, the meaning of, if you understand the meaning of this quotes, yeah. Okay, the power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Lord Acton had quote this. So what does that mean actually? Okay, the power corrupts and the absolutely power corrupts absolutely. What does that mean? If anyone can understand this quote, not Fatin, not how about others? Aiman maybe. What do you understand of this quote? Tak ada? Tak ada siapa wants to explain a bit what is the quote means? What do you think? Anyone? Oh. It's quite hard, eh? The law. I mean, talking about legal system, about law, ni is I know it's tough. It's quite a headache, lah, if you learn it. But it's interesting if you really interested in law, then you should go for it. Then learn more. Okay, what does it mean? The quote of this power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely means that when someone acquires this power, okay, they may become corrupt. They may become corrupt and abuse their power. Okay, like who? There are someone in our country macam tu kan. There are someone in our country means that they have the power, they abuse their power. And furthermore, if you have absolute power, if you have this absolute power, meaning that they have a complete control over a group of society, like the Malaysian people, for example. So the corruption is much higher. So this quote suggests that in a human nature, it is a such those who have power tend to become very what? Very selfish, very dishonest and corrupt. So it serves a reminder to those in the position of power. Like one day you become a lawyer, suddenly you become a lawyer, you become a father, you become a mother, you become the manager in an organization. Okay, is a reminder to those who have the positions of power to be very cautious and very accountable for their actions, and to this limit of the concentration of power in order to prevent the abuse, to prevent abuse. That's about it. Okay, so I think that's all from my lecture. I finished quite early, 15 minutes early. And is there anything that you would like to share from all my roughly 18 students here? Had a great time, a great 1 hour and a half at least. Anything that you guys wants to share with me? Anyone?
Anyone?
Thank you. Last one.
Diorang semua malu-malu ni nak. Nampak fokus. But never mind. I mean, mungkin they can't. Dia boleh lari lah, jangan, not asking you any questions kan. But then
If
nanti
you have anything,
later,
if you guys have anything, you can ask Madam Asra again, and you can definitely need my advice related to this topic. I must say to this topic, you can contact me through my contact. I did leave it in the chat box here. Okay, if you need my contact, please do reach out for me. Okay, all right.
Nina, by the way, I think because you have added some of the slide, and then yeah, maybe can you share the slide back, and I can share with them. So yeah. Mm.
Sure, sure, sure. No problem. Mm, okay. So, any more? Is there anything else?
Anything else? Or maybe Douglas, Fatin. This is all these especially both of them, and of course lah yang I cakap yang sini-sini ni dia memang very orang kata in participation lah. So yeah, maybe they have a question. Maybe you guys have questions. Yang muda-muda ni mungkin malu lagi.
Oh yeah, different batch.
Umur ada soalan? Nanti kan tak faham. Umur?
I have a question.
Ayah.
In the U.S., we have something called case law. So,
Case law, right?
case law is the rulings of previous cases can set a precedent for future cases.
Yes, it
Is
is
there
also
similar
okay.
in Malaysia?
Yes, like I mentioned just now, there are case law. It is known as the precedents, not precedent, precedents establish legal principles and they are used to guide the future court rulings. Uh, this is the case law. Okay, so it's important part of the legal research and analysis and all this. So it helps the lawyers, it helps the judge to understand how the legal principles have been applied in the past cases. So we do have it in Malaysia as well, the case law. Okay, all right, Douglas.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Mm. There are one in the slides just now, right? About case law. Anything? Who else? No one. So I think that's about it, Madam Asra, right?
All right. Okay. Yeah.
I want to thank you for the opportunity to share my knowledge of this Malaysian
Hmm.
legal system with you guys today. So as we have seen, the legal what we call it, legal system in Malaysia
Hmm.
is complex. I must say,
Correct.
it's quite
Correct.
complex
Correct.
and
Yes.
multifaceted. Okay, but it's also a source of pride and strength for the country. Okay, and I hope that the discussion have given all of you a better understanding of the various legal institution in Malaysia, as well as the challenges, as well as the challenges and opportunities facing this legal profession. Okay, uh, um, whether you are studying law or simply, like I said, if you have an interest in the legal system, I encourage you to continue exploring this fascinating topic, definitely. And thank you again for your attention, you guys, your engagement throughout the lecture. Thank you very much. It has been a pleasure to speak with all of you, and
Mhm.
I wished all of you the best in the future. Yeah, thank you very much.
All right. Okay, Nina, thank you so much. Seriously, even though we have this few orang kata halangan, after
Sakit
one
oh, sakit badan oh, duduk. Dia kena berdiri.
after one time to another time, and then I also want to thanks our students because their participation, and seriously, I feel bad because we keep on change
Yeah.
the time. So
Hmm.
of course we cannot blame Miss Nina because she also has very high responsible. Dean, we have someone with us with that level. Just imagine our dean talk to you, right? So thank you again, Madam Nina, and we hope to see you again next time, inshallah.
Wow.
And the rest,
Come visit me
serious,
in Berjaya, everyone. Yeah, you can drop
yeah, Please go
Berjaya.
to Berjaya, makanan sedap. Their students very good in cooking. Alright. Okay. Last but not least, I will forward the slide by Madam Nina to you. I mean, it's almost the same with the one that we have in the VLE. But since macam sebab ubat I dah jalan kan, so macam excited cakap as compared to this morning, I was seriously very very sick. Okay, but anyway, sorry, I tiba-tiba rasa macam saya semangat. Okay,
Some of your students are already in the holiday mood,
yeah, I know. That's why I malas nak tengok.
but
Nanti kat
they
I
still
geram.
have the midterm test next week.
Let them. We'll see how kan. Right, Douglas? Okay.
Douglas is not celebrating Raya, definitely.
Yeah. Okay lah.
But you can join. You can join all your classmates, right, Douglas, for Raya celebration. Yeah, I know most of you have this Raya mood already. So
Mm-hmm.
still, you guys are in the midterm test, right? They have midterm test.
Ya, ya itulah macam nanti rujuk balik your slide one, have a look at your slide
Berjaya, they are
your
in
topic
final
one.
exam.
Nanti I akan minta pada Madam Nina to forward to me and then I will forward to the class. Alright, with that, seriously thank you so much and to the rest of the student, I'll see you next week. Nina, thank you so much. I'll see you around, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Okay,
Have a
thank you.
nice
Okay,
weekend.
bye.
Happy holiday. Selamat Hari Raya, everyone.
Selamat
Thank you,
Raya.
madam.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Wah, you got something there. Long time I didn't use apa ni Google Meet. There's a heart lah, apalah, WhatsApp apa.
Hasanah ada ke Hasanah? Tiba-tiba Uci tepuk.
Ada.
Where do you actually get that one from?
Bawah tu adalah icon dia tu macam just
Huh? I want to do it because we haven't we seldom. Hold on. You guys the print screen. I mean, everyone, if at least can turn on the camera, then is my
air.
is it my
Siapa boleh turn on get your camera? But at least maybe
what-
Nina, I tak boleh lah Nina,
because
sorry.
I use my time. It's okay. Just turn on the camera because I use my
Anyone,
time
please Hakimi, I mean a guy should be no problem lah kan nak switch on.
prove to my superior. At least I'm doing an outside lecture to other university. All right, just turn on your camera for few seconds.
Please,
Not up to
Hasanah boleh tak?
Kejap.
Kejap Nina.
Kejap, okay, just for
Mana umur?
40 seconds.
Eh,
Simple one.
Aina kan? Aina Nurin. Malu-malu kan. Korang ni hebat ni.
Tak ada ya, tak boleh ya. Hold on,
Please.
Sekejap, madam, sekejap.
Okay lah, I pun dah juga.
You, that's Douglas. Hold on, where is it? Where's my, okay.
Okay, I punya background mungkin tak cantik sebab cantik pula.
It's okay, it's okay.
Tired.
All right, so ready? No, not everyone ready. There's some
Hasanah.
still someone wants to. That's
Okay,
fine.
thank you Nina.
Nina, hi Nina. My name is Nina too. I know that is it your real name, Nina? No, right?
This is my real name.
Oh, really? So your real name is Nina,
My
right?
full name is Imanina.
Oh, Imanina. Okay.
Okay, lain-lain?
Others?
Oh, Balki sanggup tu dengan
Balkis
trend.
pakai earphone dengar kalau boleh macam tu kan. Pakai earphone dalam kereta dengar, it should be fine. Alright, boleh
Alright.
everyone? Tak
Hakimi
boleh
tak
juga?
ada?
Tak ada, tak boleh. Okay.
Sorry.
Not everyone can turn on their camera, yeah? It's okay. Alright, smile.
Mata I sembab kan?
Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you. Alright, see you guys around. Okay, bye. Assalamualaikum.
Salam.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you all. Thank you, Nina.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. See you.
Let's stop the recording.
Oh, sorry, Fatin, can record?
I tried, but I try. If I can send, I will try. I will send because just
Sure.
now I test. It can. This tablet I can post video and also the voice, but the another type cannot. So I need to check back the video after this.
Okay, tak apa. Anything you let Madam Asra tahu.
Alright.
Okay. Bye. See you all.
You
See you.
too.
Thanks.